India-US trade deal. US Ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, hails trade deal, credits Modi-Trump leadership and the vision. Gore has come out to say, and I quote, "All credits to Modi-Trump leadership." This is what we're learning at this point of time. Ambassador Sergio Gore comes out to hail the very trade deal that's now been announced, not the trade deal, but the interim trade deal that's been announced in the joint statement that's been released by the two nations at this point of time. He's credited both leaders and their vision, and of course the negotiations that have taken place between the stakeholders on both sides to in fact give this shape and bring it to execution. All credits to Modi-Trump leadership. That is what's exactly been said by the US Ambassador to India at this point of time. And now on to the very trade deal and the story that we are following through the day. Prime Minister Modi hails India-US trade deal. Prime Minister Modi says the deal reflects the growing depth, trust and dynamism of the partnership that's shared between both countries. Prime Minister has also thanked US President Donald Trump for his personal commitment to the robust ties between New Delhi and Washington. India and the US have unveiled a framework for an interim trade agreement, signaling renewed momentum toward a broader bilateral trade pact. Now, under the new agreement, let us tell you, US tariffs on Indian goods will be reduced to 18%. India will remove or reduce tariffs on all US industrial goods and a broad basket of agricultural products, which will include dried distillers' grains, red sorghum for animal feed, tree nuts, fresh and processed fruits, soybean oil, wine and spirits. Piyush Goyal has come out to describe the agreement as a landmark deal. He said it will be opening up a $30 trillion market for Indian exporters, particularly benefiting the MSMEs, farmers and fishermen. Meanwhile, Congress MP Manish Tiwari slammed the deal and demanded that it be discussed in the parliament itself. So now we are being joined by Rohit Sharma from Washington, who's been keeping a very close watch on this entire negotiation that had been underway for months to culminate to this very deal. Rohit, what do you make of this very joint statement? I just want some key takeaways from you at the very first.
Look, the joint statement has been billed as the interim trade deal framework, and very interesting choice of words there. But I think what it does tell you is that we have a framework to achieve the bilateral trade agreement. I mean, this was a long time coming. India and the US has, used a lot of time announcing this agreement, or I should say, the interim agreement, which would guide India and the US both towards getting that elusive trade deal. What it also does, it mentions everything that President Trump had said during his Truth Social post. It talks about how India should be stopping purchasing oil from Russia. It talks about increasing the trade between the US and India up to $500 billion in the next 5 years, and also talking about opening up agriculture market for certain segments. So I think this is something very so that was awaited for a while since President Trump's announcement on Monday. And what it does is, it gives answer to the questions that were being asked for the last week, allows both nations to negotiate a free and fair trade deal, and also making sure that this big roadblock into the relationship, that both nations can move beyond that and work towards forming and forging the kind of relationship we had with the United States, which was before Trump 2.0.
The bigger question now at this point of time, and that's arising within India as well, is what does our country gain from it?
Well, India gains a lot. India gains, the first thing is India gains, and Indian companies, the medium size and small businesses and exporters, they gain access to a $30 trillion economy without paying 50% tariffs, right? I mean, that's the big number. There is no country in the world that is not paying tariffs in the United States. And for India to be able to get 18% from Trump administration, I think it's a sweet deal in terms of allowing Indian exporters to export stuff, and also making sure that India can diversify the imports, even if when it comes to buying oil from other nations, including something that President Trump has floated, buying cheaper oil from Venezuela. So I think, yes, it is something that we'll have to wait and watch. It is allowing Indian exporters to be able to explore new market. There are discounts on IT services. There's going to be discounts and exceptions on other sectors, including jewelry and other and textiles and even some agriculture products. So I think, we are not, again, critics would say, well, it's not 0%, but then which country is paying 0% tariffs right now? Nobody. So I think it's a good deal in those terms. We'll still have to wait and watch what kind of exceptions we get in the final agreement. But I think as of tonight, India is not paying 50%. India is not paying 25%. India is only paying 18%. And that's a huge boost for the Indian businesses.